Hello everyone and welcome to Restorative Health Solutions. If you understand what's making you sick, then you can start to understand how to get better. More information is power.
Hi, I'm Dr. Paul, and today we're going to talk about eczema and gut health. When talking about the relationship between eczema and gut health, the first thing we should talk about is the gut-skin axis. So what is the gut-skin axis? The gut-skin axis is a communication loop between the microbiome in your gut and your skin. If your microbiome is well balanced and you have a lot of really good, healthy, beneficial bacteria, and you don't have much overgrowth when it comes to dysbiotic bacteria, yeast, candida, fungus, or parasites, then that is considered a healthy microbiome that'll have a positive impact on your skin. If your microbiome is unbalanced where you have low amounts of beneficial bacteria and or high amounts of dysbiotic bacteria, yeast, candida, fungus, or parasites, then this can have a negative impact on your skin health and contribute to something like eczema. We all know that your gut has a microbiome, but your skin has a microbiome too. And the microbiome of the skin will also communicate with the microbiome of the gut. So if the eczema is coming from poor gut health, how exactly does that work? This whole process usually starts with leaky gut. Leaky gut is where the cells in the gut lining get damaged, which then opens up bigger gaps in between cells and sometimes through the cells in the gut. This allows the passage of toxins, undigested food proteins, microbes, and other inflammatory substances from the gut into the bloodstream that can then produce an inflammatory response. This inflammatory response can show up in your skin. When the gut isn't working optimally, it can then negatively impact detoxification, which means that our body isn't eliminating toxins as well. If the liver and gut are overwhelmed, then you usually see the skin flare as a result. Another thing to understand is that if the gut microbiome is imbalanced and leaky gut is present, the body sometimes doesn't optimally absorb the key nutrients from our food that the skin needs to be able to thrive. So is eczema always caused by poor gut health? Outside of the gut, there are several different factors that can contribute to eczema, such as food allergies and food sensitivities, environmental allergies, toxin overload, especially from mold exposure, nutritional deficiencies, hormonal imbalances, stress, and more. If the eczema is stemming from the gut, there are several specific findings in the gut microbiome that can contribute to something like eczema, such as low beneficial bacteria, especially low lactobacillus and or bifidobacterium, lack of bacterial diversity in the gut, overgrowth of dysbiotic or harmful bacteria, overgrowth of yeast, candida, fungi, overgrowth of parasites, leaky gut, and more. The skin can also be a window into gut health in many cases. It is very common for people with eczema to also have digestive symptoms. Here's a list of some common symptoms that may indicate poor gut health: gas or bloating, constipation, diarrhea, abdominal pain, food allergies or food sensitivities, acid reflux or GERD, indigestion, heartburn, nausea, and more. The next topic is nutritional deficiencies. So could your body be lacking any key nutrients that can contribute to eczema? Every cell in the body needs certain key nutrients to be able to thrive. When we take in nutrients from our food or in the form of supplements, our gut still has to be able to absorb these key nutrients in the small intestine to get them into the bloodstream so our cells can utilize the nutrients. So what nutrients does the skin need to be able to thrive? The skin needs several key nutrients such as vitamin A, zinc, vitamin C and copper for collagen synthesis, niacin, biotin, omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin D, and more. So how do you know what nutrients you're deficient in? Even though we know what nutrients are required for optimal skin health, the question is, what nutrients do you need? This is where a micronutrient test shows its value. A micronutrient test looks at 55 nutrients inside of the cell and is a really accurate assessment of what nutrients you've been deficient in over the last 4 to 6 months. All of the nutrients the skin needs for optimal function are in this panel, so now you can understand what specific nutrients your body needs. Next, how do you support your gut health if you have eczema? First things first, clean up the diet if you haven't already. Some of the most common inflammatory foods or drinks that can trigger eczema include GMO or processed grains, processed dairy products, added sugars, seed oils, ultra-processed foods, artificial sweeteners, alcohol, and more. Another thing that you can do with the diet is eat right for your microbiome. The microbiome loves food that provide the good bacteria fuel, such as prebiotic foods, which are high fiber foods, and foods rich in polyphenols. Another type of food that's really healthy for the microbiome are foods that add in natural probiotics, and these are your fermented foods. On a side note, some people cannot tolerate high fiber foods, fermented foods, or even probiotics due to digestive symptoms. As always, consult with your functional medicine provider to find out what approach is best for you. When we look at gut health, food is always the first thing that we consider. After we make sure that we're eating a clean and healthy diet, the next thing is to make sure that the gut is optimally digesting our food, that we're absorbing the nutrients from our food well in the small intestine, and that we have a really good, healthy gut barrier to make sure that we don't have passage of microbes and toxins and undigested food particles that get into the bloodstream. Now that we've talked about diet, digestion, and absorption, we now need to talk about detoxification. So how do you support the body's natural detoxification pathways? When you think about how the body detoxifies, just think about the ways that we eliminate things from our body. The liver is the main organ involved in detoxification, where it packages up toxins in a way that the body can get rid of them. So in what other ways can the body get rid of toxins? We get rid of toxins through the stool, through the urine, through the sweat, through the breath, and also through the lymphatic system. So what tests should you do if you have eczema? Since we've talked about a lot of the categories that can trigger eczema, we should consider the following tests. Food testing, like genetic testing for gluten predisposition, food allergy testing, and food sensitivity testing. Microbiome testing, like stool and organic acids testing. Adrenal or cortisol panel to look at that stress response. Environmental toxins panel that looks at insecticides, pesticides, organophosphates, phthalates, heavy metals, mycotoxins from mold exposure, BPA from plastic products, etc. And a micronutrient panel to rule out deficiencies that can impact the skin. So what are the benefits of testing? Test, don't guess. We've all guessed with diet and supplements at times, but the testing really helps eliminate a lot of the guesswork. By doing personalized testing, we can get very specific information and relate that to your symptoms, which gives us the best chance at getting to the root cause of your symptoms. We could see 1,000 different people with eczema, and the protocols will be different for every single person because of individualized testing. Everyone is going to have different food sensitivities, different findings in their microbiome, differences in their nutritional deficiencies, etc. They all may have the same signs, symptoms, or condition, but the reason why each person has the symptoms or condition is completely different because of how unique and different every single person is. Remember, eczema isn't just a problem of the skin. It's a representation of what's going on inside the body, and it's just expressed through the skin. With functional medicine, we are trying to uncover and investigate why the eczema is present. Well, I hope you learned a lot today about eczema and how it relates to gut health. Until next time, I'm Dr. Paul.